What's up, guys? Steven Guadani here with 5 Tool Sports Science. We're going to be doing a breakdown of Greg's pitching mechanics here. Let's take Greg into his leg lift. All right. So first thing I see, Greg, excessive contralateral tilt in your trunk. So your trunk is collapsing inwards. That's called ipsilateral tilt. Okay. And we're going to take a look here at your front leg. That's a terrible circle. Sorry about that. There we go. You can see this foot. It's going to start opening early. All right. So initially, pretty good job holding torsion off this back leg, but you're going to see as you start to open up that front leg and front side, that back leg position is going to start collapsing valgus. So you can see here that's going to be a valgus knee position. This knee collapsing in. All right. Heel is still in the ground, so you haven't started to drive. You're still in this ipsilateral shoulder position. All right. Now we go forward. So now you start to drive. At this point, you can see that ankle start to turn over, but look, your front foot, hitting front foot strike. Let's see here. Try and get it right at the front foot strike. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, a little bit more. Right there. All right, so there's front foot strike. See, back hip is late. Back heel isn't off the rubber. Haven't driven that back leg through. All right. So what's going to happen if we could get a hip to shoulder line, through your hips and through your shoulders? If we looked at from the overhead, you're just not going to have a lot of separation. So you're going to see the hips and the shoulders are going to go together. All right. So here's the hips fully open. All right, that's the hips fully open. But look at the shoulders. Shoulders are into full, shoulder rotation. And we take a look here at this arm. This arm is hyperangulating. It's dragging behind. All right, if that's the scapular plane, you can see that elbow is just getting caught behind that scapular plane. Let's take you farther into the delivery. Might even get some slight adduction in front of the face here of the throwing arm elbow. It's going to be hard on the UCL, so that arm drag is going to be hard on the shoulder UCL. And then if this is, it's kind of tough to tell from this angle, but if this elbow is pushing way in front of the face, that's going to be hard on the UCL as well. All right, so let's get it right to pitch release, as close as I can get it. Come on. Okay, right there. All right, so here's pitch release. You can see a lot of flexion still in that front leg. Trunk is still pretty vertical. All right, so ideally you would want to see more front leg extension, more forward trunk tilt, but also going back to the beginning, got to do a better job of keeping this trunk, all right, more upright, not letting it collapse in ipsilaterally. All right, then riding your momentum down without letting that front side open so you can pick up more momentum, keeping that load in this back leg. Don't let this knee collapse in, all right? And then really just getting explosive out of this back leg drive so you can power energy from the ground, power and accelerate yourself down the mound, and power your hip rotation open into front foot strike. So you're just hitting front foot strike, that hip is just late, and that's just going to disrupt the entire kinematic sequence. So you're not getting a lot of linear energy. You're not going to have a lot of angular velocity of the hip, which is the rotational velocity of the hip, to peak the kinematic sequence. So what's going to happen is these hips and your trunk rotation, if we were doing a biomechanics analysis on you, you would see that those hips and that trunk would peak at the same time, and it's not peaking in sequence where the hips peak first. There's a delay for the trunk, and then there's a delay for the arm. It's just not going to peak in order. So you got to get better at powering that hip through, driving that hip through. That's the first link of the chain. Then the trunk rotates off of that once the hips are powered all the way open. So just got to do a better job of driving out of that back leg, powering that hip rotation, delaying the trunk, and then also stabilizing, extending that front leg, getting more forward trunk tilt right into pitch release. All right, man.